Hi guys, so this video is about how to improve your chart analyzing skill, whatever you call it lah. Okay, so this is usually meant for swing trades or even investment or whatever lah. So I'll just go through usually what do I do to analyze a chart. Okay, so let's say a random chart. Okay, a random chart. Most of the time, what I'll do is I'll click on 1Y. Okay, 1Y means 1 year. I'll just have a rough look. You can see that I don't know what is this stock doing like. This is Mastercard, right? So not very clean. Don't know what is it doing. It's more of range bound. If I really want to trade this stock, what is the next thing I'll do is usually I don't analyze the daily chart, right? I always analyze it from the hourly chart. So the next thing I'll do, you guys should know, I always click on the 3M, right? You can see that this is a perfectly clean chart. I have nothing on it, no trend lines, no straight lines, anything, right? So if you can see on the left hand side here, there's a lot of indicators that I typically use. Most of the time, I don't know, when I see some of your charts, right, it's a bit jialat lah. Why jialat? A lot of lines. Oh my god, I don't even know which line to focus on. So if you can see here, right, anything that is 1D, 1D, 1D is basically meant to look at bigger pictures, meant for swing trading lah. Right, you can see this is VWAP. VWAP is obviously day trade. Maybe EMA 9 is also day trade, so it's not 1 day. So I don't know, some people are still making this mistake as of today. So make sure when you are looking at a big level, please make your indicator time frame 1 day and not same as chart, right? So the most commonly used one, which I always do, is the first thing when I look at the chart is I'll just insert in the EMA 20 lah, right? I'll click 3M. What can I see here? I really don't know what is this stock doing, right? You can see that it's since September up a bit, down a bit, up a bit, down a bit, up a bit, then now down. Will it go up? Most likely will, right? Maybe a little bit, then maybe down again. So this style of chart is very, very hard to play. Why? Because when you see this style of chart, it's more of a sideways thing, right? To make money, right, it's very important to make sure the stock is trending, right? Trending means it's like that, going lower or going higher. If it's sideways, you probably don't even want to waste time to analyze it, right? So this is just an example. So let's say I hide the EMA again. So let's say I want to analyze any random chart. Okay, so for example, PDD. Same thing, I'll click on the 1 year. Wow, look like, from 200 crash until now $80 and whatever not. And I'll look at the 3 month chart. First thing I'll do is insert in the EMA 20. As you can see that this portion here is above, that's why it started to rise. Some people actually entered around 103, 104. So that is a mistake. Why? Because other than the EMA 20, what do I always look at for key levels is I also have the MA 50, which is the blue line. Okay, or in fact, if I should change the color so that you can see easier. Let's say the purple line. Okay, so the purple line is the MA 50, and some of them bought here at so-called the breakout, but that was actually the MA 100. If I will show you, can you see the MA 100 is right here, right? So this is definitely a resistance lah. If I hide the 50 and the 20, you can see clearer, right? On 22nd October, it hit the MA 100, rejected and came down. So you have to know where are your key levels of support or resistance, right? And these things are free lah. What do I mean by free? It's an indicator mah, right? You don't have to actually, draw your own lines or whatever. No. So I always use the EMA 20. Then I would have the 50 and 100 there as well. So what would be a very, very easy type of trade to stock to trade? For example, if you take a look at Google. So first thing first, I'll click on 3M. I'll insert the EMA 20. What can you tell from this? Currently, it's above the EMA 20. It's so-called a major uptrend, right? Next thing, I'll put my MA 50. It is also above the MA 50. I'll put my MA 100. It's also above. All three lines are below the current price, this is definitely an uptrend stock, right? I'm not saying that it will fly to the moon or whatever, not. Maybe it might, drop a little bit, but we will not expect it to come down like that, right? It will most likely maybe go sideways, then go higher. This is a major uptrend stock. So this style of stock, you don't want to short it, right? You just want to, wait for a pullback or what we call maybe a breakout, right? Maybe this area here. You want it to go above this and maybe it will start going higher. So another example, Microsoft. Look at my three lines. One look, I can tell this whole period here is already above all three lines, right? Definitely an uptrend stock. There's almost no resistance, right? There's no major resistance. This stock can easily fly. What about, for example, maybe Bitcoin? Same thing lah. Look at how sweet is the three lines. Once it's above, it starts to go high. This is what we call a real major uptrend, right? So if you can see the trend, of course you don't want to short this. You ask me to short the stock here, not interested. Short here, not interested, right? I'll be waiting to do buyback at the breakout. So you must understand what is the major picture. So to me, for example, if I take a look at Roku, for example, if I just hide the MA 50 and 100 first, you can see that this stock obviously is weak lah. Retest, drop, retest, drop. This period here was where we entered, right? I actually bought the stock here once it broke out. I bought it again here at the breakout. And where did I sell? Right, I actually have the MA 100 here. You can see that it's already below the MA 100 still. How did I manage to sell the stock there? I did not know that this will be the highest. I was expecting it to go up a little bit more, but you probably have a support here, right? Resistance, sorry. You can see that this portion here is S, 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 S. Probably this will be an R lah. So you must start to take profit here, right? Which I did. And the rest, about 20-30%, I actually received a break even. So as of today, if you take a look at this stock, if you still want to buy Roku for swing trade, most likely you will lose money. Why? Because if I insert in all the three lines, it's actually below it, right? So this is honestly a major downtrend, right? Of course, the downtrend can be ended, but as of today, not anytime soon. So these three lines are actually to help you much better in analyzing lah. So if let's say I were to analyze, let's say BABA for now, right? So you can tell that BABA, for example, I'll add in the EMA 20 today. Look, the moment it went above, it started to rise, right? And if I have the MA 50, you can see that it went above the MA 50 as well. But the MA 100 seems to be the resistance lah, right? It went close to there, it cannot really. So now, what is it doing? It is actually finding some support at the MA 50, the purple line, right? So if I were to just hide all of this, most of the time, right, I don't actually have the lines there. I only have the EMA 20, but before I buy something or I want to know how to analyze better, I will look at three lines, right? So, for example, BABA now, you can see that where's the support? I probably would say here. Why? Look, there is a gap up. It is coming back down here, bounce on it, started flying. So this is coming back to the gap, right? So if I want to use some Fibonacci, which sometimes you have to, you just simply put at the lowest price, drag it all the way up to the highest price. You can tell that, for example, the next upcoming support should be here at the 0.5 level, about $160. So that is a very important level on them. Most of the time, when a stock really pull back, they will usually bounce on the 0.5 or the 0.382 most of the time, right? So, for example, Tesla. Let's take a look at Tesla. You can see that Tesla, if I insert all three lines, since literally September, is telling us this is a very